We like talking about the fact that they're going to double their stockpile by the end of the decade. I'd ask you to consider that just measuring a nation's stockpile is a relatively crude measure of their capabilities. You have to look at the totality of it, the delivery systems, what they're capable of, what their readiness is. And China in particular is developing a stack of capabilities that, to my mind, is increasingly inconsistent with a stated no first use policy. As a military commander, what I look at more is another nation's capabilities, less about what their stated intentions are. And I see China developing a stack of capabilities that would be inconsistent with a no first use policy. It's not my place to judge whether they intend to honor that or not. What I can tell you is that they certainly have the capabilities to execute any number of deterrent or employment strategies that are seemingly inconsistent with and a no first use policy really drives you back over to a minimum deterrent strategy. It just looks inconsistent to me. Get apprehensive that we are not fully conscious as a nation of the threats that we face, right? China now has the capability, and we can get into the specifics, to directly threaten our homeland from a ballistic missile submarine. That's a pretty watershed moment. And that's why when I come up here and say that we need to maintain the forces that give us a deterrent capability against that, why we have to go recapitalize our strategic triad, why I say that there's no margin left, and why that's the most important mission of the Department of Defense.
Powers, China and Russia, each with significant military capabilities, both who intend to fundamentally change the current rules-based order. We are entering a world that is becoming more unstable, and the potential for significant international conflict between great powers is increasing, not decreasing. Here alongside the Secretary of Defense, Secretary McCord.
When we built this budget, we built it based upon our new national defense strategy. And there is significant investment in a number of issues, a number of capabilities that are absolutely relevant to the competition with China.
Orbit. And then it is contested with the threats we now see from China and Russia. Obviously, I've highlighted the threats we now face with China as our key challenge. China's growth in space has truly been breathtaking over the last 15 or 20 years, and they are clearly they've clearly studied us since the Desert Storm conflict, and they have built systems to hold us at risk, whether those are reversible jammers or direct descent ASATs or on-orbit co-orbital ASATs. We've seen all of those kind of tests from the Chinese. We've also seen the Chinese really work to network their forces more by space as they seek to push out their ability to project power from their coasts. Of course, Russia is a historic and sophisticated space power, and we've seen them also continue now to develop their threats, as I mentioned, with the hit-to-kill ASAT test that they executed just 14 or 15 months ago. Russia as a continental power is not as dependent on space with their own military forces, but certainly they have military space capabilities.